Hi there, I hope you're well. So today I thought I would show you kind of our homeschool routine, what we've been doing, and it might give you some ideas, maybe some inspiration, or it might even, you might just be nosy and want to know what we're doing, so I thought I would share that with you. The first thing I want to say is that I am not trying to recreate what they were getting at school, because I'm not a teacher and I can't recreate that. I don't have a school, this is our home. So what I'm doing is trying to keep up their education to some level while they're at home and keep up their sort of curiosity and their interest in learning. That's what I'm trying to do. And if you're feeling pressure about homeschooling, then I just wanted to say to you that the most important thing that you can be doing at the moment is providing the kids with security and love and letting them know that things are going to be okay and that you're there for them. That is way more important than their education at the moment, because it will pick up again once things go back to normal. Well, normal. Teachers are going to pick up where they left off and they're going to be reassessing what level kids are at, and they're not going to expect children to have carried on in the same way that they were while they were at school. They're not going to expect you to have taught them to the same level as a teacher while they're at home. So don't worry about that. Teachers are trained to be able to assess what level kids are at and help them accordingly. So don't feel the pressure that you have to be teaching them to that level. Also, you might be trying to work full-time from home. You might be working full-time outside the home still. You could be working on one of the frontline key worker jobs, so it might not be possible. You could be working from home full-time, and in which case you might not be able to homeschool as such. It is far more important that you keep your job in these times and that you're able to keep a roof over their heads than them getting their formal education. And when I say that, what I mean is them sitting down with a pen and paper and following the curriculum. Obviously, you don't want your children to stop learning altogether, but they're learning so much all the time. So, but just by you talking to them about what's going on in the world and teaching them like life skills, even things like that, they're learning all the time. And even if you are teaching them things like how to work the washing machine or how to make themselves a meal, things like that are teaching them all the time about life. And the fact that you're teaching them is keeping up their interest in learning, it is keeping up their curiosity, and it's like keeping those bits of the brain working that they need for when they go back to school, is what I'm trying to say. But there's loads of things that you can do at home with them as well. Caitlin is at secondary school, so what I'm doing with Caitlin is very different to what I'm doing with Elle, for example. Elle's still at preschool. That Elle's age is more my area of expertise because I was a nursery practitioner in my past life, so that kind of comes a lot easier to me than Caitlin's age group. I'm very lucky that Caitlin's teachers are still posting work for them online. That's really useful. So we're trying to do a little bit of that each day. But again, I'm not saying like she has to sit down at 9 o'clock till 3 every day without an hour break and just sit down and do her work like she would at school, because this is our home. What I am doing is keeping a room separate. Well, I say I'm keeping a room separate. We don't have a huge house, as probably loads of you are in this situation. Some of you might not be. Great if you've got a room that you can put aside, especially for homeschooling. But we started off the first week, we didn't do this. And I just felt like we were all downstairs in our living space on top of each other all the time, and there was no getting away from that space, and it felt very claustrophobic and overwhelming. So what I decided to do this week was, Elle's bedroom had the most space because of the layout and her bed size and all that kind of thing. So what I did was, when she was up in the morning, I set up like a mini... Are you talking? I set up like almost like a mini classroom. So there's a dedicated area that Caitlin can sit at and do her work. There's somewhere that Elle can sit to do her work, and we've got a little space for Autumn so she can kick about and play and things. Although some of the time she's in my arms and some of the time she's napping and things. But there is a bit of a space that we can play together, can't we, while the girls are working. Here's our school setup for today. So this is Elle's desk. We've got a mattress because we're sleeping on the floor next to Elle's bed at the moment. This is Elle's desk. You've got your notebook, don't you? I've got some resources there that I'm going to be cutting out while you're working.
And then the popsicle.
Autumn's going to be set up here, and we've got our chair, and I'll be probably carrying her and doing things with her. Bless you. And then over here we've got Caitlin's. No, and over here we've got Caitlin's desk area. So I've just put up 2 fold-up tables. This one's to put all our stuff, and this one is for her to work on. And she's got her chair to sit and work at. And then over here we have, that's for my camera, so we'll move that. We've got our whiteboard. I've just put on the day and good morning, and I can put anything else on there. We can also use that for letter magnets and things for Elle. And then I've got a tray here. In here we've got an activity for today. It's some letter beads that we're going to do threading with.
Yeah.
Make
We can
bracelets.
spell your name too.
Yeah. We've got some pegs for an activity. We've got some pencils and scissors and things in
We
there.
can paint the pegs.
Yeah. And we've got our flashcards. And that's us. And down here we've got some more resources like some books, some magnetic letters, dominoes, and we've got some of the orchard games that we're going to be doing too. Yes. And I think that really helps that we have a separate space, and I'll say, right, we're going to go and do an hour, and that doesn't need to be like at 9 o'clock or at any particular time. It can just be at a time that works best for you. That is the advantage of homeschooling. I suppose that's why people choose to homeschool. That you can work around when's best for your children, when they are at their best. Yes. When you have the most time, and just what works for you as a family. And if you sit down to work and the kids are just not concentrating, they are full of energy or they're tired or whatever, you can say, do you know what, this isn't working just now, let's try it again later or whatever. Let's go for a walk, let's have a little bit of chill out time, read a book, whatever. So what we'll do is we will, I hear caught my glasses. So what we'll do is we will say, right, we're going to work for maybe like an hour, and I do really short bursts. We'll go upstairs, and usually what I'll do is set Elle up with an activity first. And the night before I'll have written down a rough plan of what I want to do with each of the girls. So with Caitlin it might be I want her to do one literacy lesson the next day, and I want her to do homework for modern studies, for example, we did this week. So that might be what I want her to do. Or it could be something like the teacher sent them information on how to register digitally with the library. So that could be one of the things on the list. I want her to sit down with the computer and work out how to do that. So I've just got a rough idea of what I want to do with each of them. Elle, Caitlin's tends to be maybe like just 1 or 2 tasks because they'll take a bit longer and she'll sit working on them for a longer length of time. Elle has lots of little tasks because she has a much shorter attention span. Things need to be short and snappy and quick because yeah, it needs to keep her interested and she'll lose attention. So I have a list of maybe like 10 activities to do with Elle. If we don't get through them all, it doesn't matter, but it just means I've got something there ready for when she's finished the first thing. So what I'll usually do is set Elle up with the first activity, and I tend to do things like number games, games with letter recognition, colours, shapes, things like that. More kind of sit down things when we do our homeschool. So we'll sit at the table and I will set her up with the first thing, show her what to do, and I might leave her to get on with it and do that. Then I will go over to Caitlin at her desk area and I will sort of talk through what she's going to do today and make sure she's set up for it and she knows what to do, and then leave her to get on with that. And if she has any questions, then I will come and help her to do that. Quite often me and Caitlin fall out over her work because I'm not a teacher and I don't explain things the way that she's used to being explained them, and I'm not used to having to teach her, so it's a bit of a fraught time a lot of the time. But yeah, we're getting there, and I'm really pleased with how she's getting on, and also it's, for me, it's a really good insight into her abilities and how she works and things that I've never seen before because I'm not in the classroom with her. So it's really interesting for me, and I'm really enjoying it actually. For Elle, it's a good chance for me to sort of sit down one-to-one and I'm making notes of what she can. This is something that we would have done when I worked in the nursery, and so that's why I do it, because it's something that's familiar to me. But I think if you choose to do it, you would find it really useful too. But don't feel, if you're not doing this, don't feel like you're doing anything wrong. But what I've been doing is I'll do an activity with Elle and then I'll make a note of the the things that she can do and things that she can't do. So for example, I wrote down all the numbers that she was able to recognise, and there was a couple that she got mixed up with, so I made a note of them, and then it means that when I plan future activities I can make sure we focus a bit more on the areas that we need to go over a bit more. So that's what we're doing with Elle. We're also planning some fun activities. We did an activity yesterday, and Caitlin actually led the activity, which was really good because it helped her with her confidence, and it was a really nice activity for them to do together, and it was about colour mixing. So we used food colouring and water, and they mixed the colours to learn about primary colours and secondary colours, and how the primary colours make up the secondary colours. And yeah, that was a really good activity for them to do. So that would come under sort of science, it would come under their social skills because they're working together. There's loads of different learning opportunities in everything that they do. So that one was a little bit more fun. We've done another activity where I froze some of Elle's characters, princesses, in water with glitter, and then I put them in a play tray and gave her like tools and also some containers with warm water, and let her try and sort of rescue the princesses, and she would hammer them, and she used the hot water to try and like melt the ice, and that was really interesting. And we talked about how ice is a solid, and when it melts it becomes a liquid and things like that. I mean, that sounds as if we're doing loads of like very formal kind of sciencey things, but it's not. You're probably doing things like that anyway, even if it's just like, even if you're just playing with Lego, they're learning about construction, they're learning about numbers, if you're counting the blocks. A lot of what you're probably doing anyway through play, they're learning all the time. And that's not just for young children like Elle's age, even school children, probably a lot of the things that they're doing, they're learning as they're playing. So don't worry too much about sitting down and doing formal things. They're learning all the time. But that's what we've been doing. We tend to do it in short sort of hour bursts. So we'll maybe do an hour, have a tea break, and then we'll have another hour, and then we'll have like her lunch. Or some days we just have like a lazy morning, and then we might just do learning in the afternoon. Or like yesterday, none of us were really feeling it and we just didn't do anything yesterday. But today we're going to do, get back on plan and do some more activities. So I hope that helped, and I'm going to try and insert some footage throughout this video to show you some of the how our day kind of goes and some of the things we do. But I might try and make some more focus videos on specific activities if that's of interest to you. So I might do a video on some different numeracy lessons that I've been doing with Elle, and some of the letter recognition and things like that we've been doing, and just to give you some ideas. So if that's something you're interested in, let me know. But that's kind of how our day is looking at the moment with homeschooling. Every day is a bit different because we're doing different things, and some days, like I say, we'll have a full day of school, and other days we'll just have some school. Every day Elle wakes up and says, when are we starting school? She's like so excited about it. So that's brilliant. And actually Caitlin's quite enjoying it too, and the fact that she can like FaceTime her friends while she's doing her work, and it feels a bit more like school, that they can talk like they would at school, is nice, because it's hard for the kids as well being away from their friends during this time. So I hope you found that useful, letting you know what we're doing. If you've got any questions, anything that I've not covered, please let me know down in the comments and we can have a little chat. You can also find me over on Instagram. My handle over there is just Amy Being Mum, the same. So come over and say hi there too. But I will see you all soon. Don't forget to subscribe for more videos, and yeah, take care. Bye.